glasnije jer nemamo ozvučenje. Dobrodošli na radionicu koju će voditi Zoe Fleischer i bit će na engleskom, tako?
Da.
Radionica će biti na engleskom, nadam se da to odgovara svima. Tako da Zoe, izvoli, dajem ti reč.
Da, evo, dobro, ja sam, po imenu se ne može zaključiti da sam iz Srbije, ali drugo ime mi je Zlata i nekada sam se prezivala Stanojević, tako da pričam srpski, ali ću ipak radionicu voditi na engleskom, zato što mi je prosto lakše. Ja svako razume engleski, jel okej? Da li će neko pratiti bukvalno sa kompjuterom što radimo? Ne. Dobro.
Da smo znali, pa može.
Pa, ja sam mislila da je da je to kao da radimo zajedno, ali nema veze. Uglavnom, I'm gonna switch to English now.
Imat ćemo jedan laptop, možemo da...
Možete, slobodno, znači treba vam samo konekcija sa internetom i onda možete da pokušate. Ako želiš, mislim, htjela sam da predložim kogod želi da radi, može sedne ovdje pored mene, pa mogu da ti pomognem ako ti se nešto desi.
Ja ne znam ništa.
Ovo je za totalne početnike, tako da opušteno. Ko zna šta je blok? Who knows what blockchain is? 1, 2, 3. Nobody else knows what blockchain is? Okay, I'm gonna explain it. Dođi. Uđi na www.dune.com i uradi sign up. Dok ja pričam, okay. Well, like it says, I work as a data analyst since 4 years and mainly in the blockchain field. So today I'm gonna teach you a little bit about how to do blockchain analytics. Alright, for those who don't know what a blockchain is, well, in the most simple words I can put it, it is like an upgrade from the internet. That's why the internet is called Web 2 and blockchain is called Web 3, because it is a base layer of technology on which everything can be built. Just like on the internet we build email and browsers and so on. You can build all of those same things on the blockchain, just that blockchain offers the attributes of immutability, transparency, like higher security, privacy, and a lot of other advantages that the internet doesn't have. The fact that the blockchain offers transparency means that everything that happens, like every action and transaction that's being made, is visible to everybody. No matter who you are, if you are sitting somewhere in Africa or you're like the CEO of Google, you can see the same data on the blockchain. Everything is transparent and publicly available to anybody. That means that there's a huge amount of data that can be used for analysis purposes. And there is companies like Chainalysis, Messari, Nansen, Dune, who started obviously to use that, and they're creating data analysis tools specifically for blockchain data. The tool I've chosen to show you today is called Dune, and I've chosen it because in most of my jobs what the employers wanted was Dune, because it has the biggest database and they have a really high amount of data analysts working on creating decoded tables, which means that the data is a bit more readable. They already pre-process the raw blockchain data and they turn it into tables that are more understandable for us. And I'm just gonna show you. So before there was Dune, you only had blockchain explorers. So this is basically blockchain data. It's very raw, it's very not understandable, and all you could do is really click on a block and look for yourself what is inside of that block. It was not very readable or understandable unless you are a Solidity or a blockchain programmer. You wouldn't really get that data. So now with Dune you have a much better decoding and a much better understanding of this data. So what we're gonna do, whoever wants to tag along can sign up. Did you manage to sign up? Okay. Yeah. And then I'm gonna show you the dashboard that we're gonna create today, and we're gonna look at some SQL basics. Does anybody know SQL? It's a programming language. Anybody? Yeah, you? Okay, good. You guys. Are you guys from university? Are you studying programs? Computer
From
science.
high school, we came here to learn about blockchain and analysis, as well as deciphering it. Currently, we're just interested. We didn't have any practical lessons about it.
Yeah. Okay, great.
We want to learn.
Awesome. Well, yeah, SQL is a well, it's called structured query language, and it's basically just designed to query databases. You can't really build anything else with it. So this is the sign up, and then this is the kind of dashboard that we're going to create. It's a dashboard about DEXs. DEXs are decentralized exchanges. Who has bought cryptocurrency ever? Yeah, okay, some people. Well, for those who haven't, there is something on the internet, like a web page, that is called an exchange, where you can go and you can just trade your money for cryptocurrency. Most of them are centralized, which means they sit on a single server somewhere. They belong to just one company. DEXs, decentralized exchanges, they are distributed. They sit on a network of peer-to-peer nodes, and they don't belong to a single person. They are just co-managed by a lot of algorithms and people. So we are going to analyze basically the happenings on all the DEXs that exist in Dune's database. We're going to look at the volume, how much money is being traded, on which of the DEXs most money is being traded, and so on. So yeah, this was just a little glossary for people like who were not aware of the terms. I basically just explained the DEX. Volume means basically the money that flows through an exchange in a specific period of time. Market share is, well, a percentage of the total trading volume. And EVM, EVM is going to come up. EVM means the Ethereum virtual machine, and we're actually going to just also check how much of the trades are being done just on the Ethereum network. Okay, so when you want to start a dashboard, first you need to define what questions you want to answer, because Dune has hundreds of millions of databases. So you really need to know what you're looking for in order to be able to find the tables that have the information you need. It's quite complex. So in this case, we defined that we want to look at the weekly trading volume on DEXs, the monthly trading volume on DEXs, and I did some more, but I don't think we're going to have time to go through all of it today. So for now, we're going to look at weekly and monthly trading volume on DEXs. So when you know what you want, did you sign up? Yep. Great. Okay. So now, you can just start looking at the. So if you go to create, and then to new query, exactly. Then you actually here on the side, you get to see all of the databases that they have. And here you can decide or try to find specific tables that have the data you need. Like you can try to type something here, like for example, we were looking for DEXs, so we could type DEX. And the first one that pops up is actually the table we are going to use, which is called DEX trades. So that is how you query data. There is also help from Dune. They have really good documentation. So if you look at a specific data set, you have this data catalog where you can basically have an overview over everything. For example, here are all the data tables that exist in Dune are to be found here, and you can just open one of them and then like look literally what each of the columns means, because sometimes you're not exactly going to understand what each column means, but they explain everything really in detail. So they have great documentation. There is also the spell book, which contains basically guidelines on how to write queries, and I looked at it today and it seems to be a little down. So yeah, the important pipeline for this dashboard is currently broken. So normally in the spell book you can find a lot of instructions on how to write good queries, and you can see examples of queries as well. And yeah, another reason why I chose Dune is because they you can always look at the queries of other people. So people publish their dashboards, everything is public, and you can always check their queries and see how they queried specific data. So, okay, to query data, we will first need to understand SQL a little bit. So, because that is, where you're supposed to write the SQL query. So, like I said before, SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's basically just made for querying databases. These are some very, very basic queries that we're going to use in the queries that we have today. We might come back to this slide, but you will. I will go with you through the queries. Actually, we're going to make this very, very hands-on, but we will get back to those things. So now we're going to start. So you go to you're already there. Nice. You know some SQL.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You just said I don't know anything.
No, about blockchain.
Okay. Yeah, let's say when you query like a specific contract, you will get this kind of data. Which is, like I said, more or less understandable if you know blockchain, or if you don't, it's not really. But it is already decoded. So it says like on which blockchain the trade happened, which project, then what time, which block number, which token was bought, which token was sold for it. It's kind of understandable. Like we can see the amounts. Yeah. But if it's not understandable, you can like also just go to Dune and check out and they explain exactly what each column means. So, okay, writing the queries. I'm gonna show you my dashboard. So, okay, so the cool thing is, if you see somebody else's dashboard, you can just click on it.
Can I see your dashboard?
That was it. That was my dashboard.
No, I mean
For
my,
Splash.
my,
Huh?
I mean for my.
Oh,
profile.
yes. Yeah, here. You see do you see
Your
it
name.
here?
Okay.
Dune.com, Zoe Fleischer, Splat Text
No,
Trades.
no, no, I can see your dashboard on my computer or not?
Yeah. You just type in this,
Your name.
no, this, the URL.
URL, okay.
Yeah. URL. So this first thing is like the total trading volume in one day. So what we did here is, okay, it's very short. So basically, select means, okay, you're gonna take something from some table. So we are SQL. Sometimes the order in which the code is written might seem a little arbitrary, but basically we're saying select, and we're saying to select from which table. We're using the table DEX trades. ST means that we are going to rename the table to T. So if there was any further like usage of this, the table would be called T. We wouldn't have to write DEX trades every time. We are going to take the amount, USD, that was traded. We're gonna sum it all up. Cast as double means that we're changing the data type into integers so it can compute. And then we're gonna divide it by 1 billion, so we get a smaller number. And we're gonna call it billion volume. So we're gonna basically, in this select, we're basically creating kind of a new table, but this happens all the time in SQL. You always create, like inside a query, you create new little sub-queries, so they're called. You copy that and then you run it, and then you'll be very happy. Okay, so when we run that, we receive this, or not exactly, we would first receive just a number, but then we can go here into, you would first just receive this, but then you can go on this thing here, and then you can make it a visualization. So for you, you didn't write it yet, okay. where block time is bigger than now, open brackets, close brackets, perfect, minus interval, quote 24 hours. Hours. Yeah, so if you run that now, yeah, oh, there was a mistake somewhere. Okay. Exactly, so we just get this, and then when we click on this thing here, we can have a visualization of it. And here are some parameters that can be changed in the visualization, like which column you want to visualize and so on. Pretty straightforward so far, right? Okay, great. Love that. Yeah, here I also wrote out for you guys like exactly what it means. Basically what the query says, it says take all the transactions that happened in the last 24 hours, add up all the amounts, divide it by 1 billion, and tell me the result. So basically that is the first image that we had, right? Let's have both of this open at the same time. That is this first one. So the next one is going to be pretty much the same, just for a 7-day volume. Exactly the same query, we just take 7-day instead of 24-hour, and we get a very similar result. Here you can also decide like all of this, like what comes in front, what comes after. You can decide here in prefix and suffix, how many decimals you want. So yeah, you can really choose your parameters here. Okay, let's go into something. Okay, this is getting a little more complicated, but not that much. So here, oh cool, yeah. Here we get a new command, which is the width. So let's look at this in human language. So basically the width creates a table. And here it creates 2 tables. So it creates a table called ETH and a table called all. This here tells the code basically what table we are creating, and then at the end it selects something from those tables that we created. Well, what we're doing here means we look at all Ethereum transactions from the last 7 days, we add up the total volume of these Ethereum transactions, and then we do the same for all transactions that exist, because we want to calculate the percentage of the Ethereum transactions. Okay, so the width basically creates a subquery or a subtable that's called ETH and calculates the total volume of Ethereum trades. You could also open like to copy the queries. You can go here, Dune.com, Zoe Fleischer, minus DEX, minus trades. Yeah. Perfect. There you go. What does it say?
Select. Oh, DEX.
Exactly. Cool. Yes. Maybe not. Could you access my site?
I can, but not that page.
1 second. Why is it not available?
I can access your query, but not that dashboard.
You can access my query, but not the dashboard. I'm gonna fix this. It says private. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Okay, it's not private anymore. Okay. Now you should be able to access it. Yeah? Okay. Alright, so basically the width is creating 2 subtables. First one called ETH that calculates the total trading volume of ETH, and the second one called all which calculates the total trading volume of all the trades in the last 7 days. And then there comes the main query, which basically says that we take the ETH trading volume and we divide it by the total trading volume times 100, and the result is called aggregated share. So we represent it in a percentage, and the percentage is basically, we don't need to define it in the query, we're just defining it in the parameters. How does this look like to you guys? Is it complicated? Well, I think it's okay, right? Alright, so we use with to create basically subtables in a query, and then from these subtables we select something and we make a calculation with it. Now, so far so good. That was all still okay. Now comes the first, a little more elaborate. You would just click on, on that, and then you're in. Yeah. Okay. Now what we're doing, we're gonna look at the trading volume per DEX. So we're gonna divide it through all DEXs, and then the code becomes a little longer. This is now we're going to create this table. So basically we want to create a table of all DEXs and rank them by who had the highest volume in this last 7 days and in the last 24 hours. The query is pretty long and elaborate because we're first gonna create subtables again. So we're gonna create the 7-day volume subtable and the 1-day volume subtable. And then we're going to tell it to order it and give it a rank. This row number means that it's going to rank the results and give them numbers, and over tells it basically what it's going to rank. To make this more understandable, we're going to start here. So basically, okay, first we're looking at all the trades from the last 7 days and we sum them up for each project. This is happening here. So we select the column, so project is a column in the table of DEX trades. We select project and we sum up all of the USD amounts. We call it USD volume, from DEX trades. And then we define the time. Basically, we say when the block time is between now and an interval of 7 days. So we tell it, okay, sum up everything by project for the amount of the last 7 days. By project, we're telling it here. Group by one. One is always the first thing that we mention in the select. So he will group it by project. So he will tell us the volume that has been traded in the last 7 days by project. Okay, same for 1 day volume. We take the column project, we sum up all of the USD amounts, and we define the time, and we group it. Okay, and then we tell it to put it in a rank over. Here, he orders it descending, which means basically highest first, and from then descending, he tells it to take 7 dot project. Now here, this is a little confusing because we're like, what is 7 dot? Because we didn't define 7 dot anywhere. We have 7 day volume and we have 1 day volume, but we don't have 7 dot anywhere. And this is where SQL sometimes gets a little confusing because things are not ordered. Basically, where we define this table 7, is down here. But it still knows, even if we define it afterwards, it still knows that we are referring to that very table in the end. So you're telling it take the column project from the table 7, and we tell it down here that 7-day volume, which we created up here, is from now on called 7 and not 7-day volume anymore. And then we sum up the volumes, we rank them. Now here, this is also an interesting new thing, left join. So he basically joins those two tables that we created up here together. He merges them into one table. And he does that by the column project. So there's different kinds of joins. The left join means that the left table, which in this case is 7, is the one that is the more important one. So he will keep all of the projects that are in the table 7, and then he will add all of the projects from table 1 that already also exist in table 7, and he will not bring in the projects from table 1 that don't exist in table 7. If it would be a right join, it would be the other way around. And if it would be an inner join, it would just keep all of the projects that both tables contain. So that's the join thing. Okay. Oh no, I'm so sorry. And it tells it as well to only keep the volumes that are not null. So it's immediately going to erase everything that it doesn't have value, and then we're grouping it by 2, which is, in this case, what would be 2? The second thing that we selected. So here we selected first the sum, and the second thing was the project that we selected. So he will order it by project, a group by project, and order by descending amounts. Okay. I know this is all very, very codey. That's why I thought it's going to be an interactive workshop. But yeah, just for listening, it might be a little less interesting. But this is what it is. Is there any questions about SQL, the language, or anything in the query so far? Okay. Here with the visualization, we still didn't do much because we just basically kept it the way it is. Here, if I now wanted to create a visualization, I could go on the visualization button. So we're going to do it in the next query. So here, for example. So here we got pretty much the same. We got actually exactly the same query, but we're going to create a visualization out of it. So we have the results, but then we're going to go on pie chart. And here we can actually create some nice visualizations of the results we have, which is a really nice feature of Dune as well. Yeah, there's different kinds of charts you can create. This is, for example, an area chart, which is representing the volume by chain. So we're looking at different blockchains and which kind of volume they have in the whole trading share. So yeah, on here on the how do you call this thing again? I forgot the name. But yeah, you can just check. What the biggest one will probably be Ethereum. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is the visualizations are quite nice. The query. Do we have something new here? No. So the query is actually quite simple. We tell it to select the column blockchain, to select basically to turn the column block time into week. So date trunk means that we out of this like block time that is probably that is a whole time sequence. So block time will look something like this. So it's like the whole time. We tell it to just take the week out of it. And then we, again, take the sum of the amount that has been traded from DEX trades. We define in which time, and we group it both by the blockchain and by the time, so by 1 and by 2. That's how we get this table.
So number 1 and 2 is after select, which is first, and then second.
Exactly.
So just line.
Exactly. You could also just write here group by blockchain and by date trunk. You could also just write it out. It would work the same.
But should you write all like with week and block time, or just date trunk instead of number 2?
Yeah, you could write date trunk, because here we didn't name it. You could also name it, say date trunk SD, and then you could just write here D and blockchain.
Yeah.
Basically.
If it's not SD, do you have to write everything, like or just date trunk without?
I think it would work if you. No, you're right. You have to write everything.
Yeah.
You would have to write everything. Yeah. You would have to write everything. So that's why it's always better to give them like a alias. Yeah. That's that. Text straight. Okay. We went through the share of EVM, market share, daily volume. Okay. So is anybody actually trading on DEXs? Yeah. Nice. So for everybody else, like, do you like get the kind of information that we are representing? Does that make sense? So basically, on a DEX, you have different projects, different blockchains, obviously. So we're basically trying to split that all up and represent it visually. This is the daily volume by DEX. So this, like, here it gets complicated. So we're like looking at every day, like September 8th, September 9th, and so on. And we're looking every day, like how much trading there was and which DEX had the biggest share in that trading. I think this is one of the biggest queries we have. Yeah, daily volume one. Or no, the aggregator is okay. So in this one, we select the project table. We select we select the date trunk date. We turn the block time just into a day. We select the amount USD from DEX trades. So we select 3 columns from a table, and we tell it to only take the columns that are in between now and 30 days ago, or what did I write here? Oh, okay, no, yeah. We tell it that it's, of course, that it's bigger than 30 days ago and that it's smaller than now. So basically it's in between 30 days ago and now. And then we group it. It looks complicated, but the query is easy, but the visualization is quite nice. So when you run this query, just curious, because you don't have this, like how, you don't get the same visualization, right?
If I run it here, I get, but
Yeah.
if I run it here, I don't. But there are results.
Okay, so when you go onto charts, and then you have to choose area. No, you have to choose bar chart. You have to choose a different chart. And then in the parameters, you can actually make. Yeah, that's where the magic happens. So you have to enable stacking. That means that in one row they can show like different things. Let's see how it looks now. Still not, okay. Then sort values. Maybe your columns are not right. You have to tell it which column 1 and use the volume. Yeah, that is correct. Show chart legend.
Execute again.
Execute again. again because it should be showed like now. It should be showing you. It is not. Well, we can look at it afterwards because now you have everything right. Now it should be stacking. It should be showing you all of the DEXs. Yeah. So yeah, what we did is we can see by day which DEX has the most here. It's not as nice as here where you can. Oh, actually it is. You can just check out which of the Uniswap. Yeah, for example, Uniswap is the one DEX that has the most trades every day because it was the first DEX and it just still maintains basically. This is not ideal yet in Dune because you literally have to look through and search for a specific blockchain. You can't, or a specific project. You can't just type it in, and sometimes it's not that easy to find like the bigger projects. But yeah. Okay, now the last and biggest query is the DEX aggregator volume. Aggregators are basically projects that congregate data from different DEXs. So let's say if you put in a trade on an aggregator, let's say I want to buy X amount of token, the aggregator checks prices on different DEXs. So it will compare for you and see which DEX actually offers the best price for the trade you want to make, and then it will execute the trade on that specific DEX. So when we look at the aggregator volume query, yeah, it is very long, so basically I divide it into three parts. So again, the first two parts are subqueries. So we create two tables inside of the query. Again, this one we already know. It is the one where we just take a 7-day volume. This time we're using a different data source. It's called DEX aggregator trades, not just DEX trades. We take the project out of it, we take the money, USD volume out of it, and we define the time frame. Same for the 1-day volume. And then comes the main query, where we basically tell it to, again, rank the results from 7-day volume. Here we rename 7-day volume to 7, and then we also select 7 the project, which will give us the project name, and we get the sum from 7 days and from 24 hours. We again do a join, which means we merge two tables together into one, so it's easier to compare. And yeah, that basically gives us the DEX aggregator volume. Now this is still just a table. We could try and play around and make it something else if it wants to. It doesn't want to. No, I'm not sure why this one doesn't want to change, because normally on this tab you should be able to switch or choose between different visualization options.
So for the bar,
Do you
pie
have it?
chart,
Yeah, you have it, right?
but bar chart is missing X axis.
Yeah, I'm not even having the option. Yeah, but basically that is the whole deal about how you create this table. Who thinks it's fairly easy? Okay. 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 Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. How to create a dashboard out of it? Well, when you have all of those queries, basically all of these queries are created separately. Then you just go to create new dashboard. You give it a name, splat, and you open it, and then you can just add your dashboards into it. your queries into it. Edit. Here you go. Then you go to add visualization, and then you can see all your queries, and you just add them to the dashboard. And then they appear, and then you can sort them around. So that part is also fairly intuitive. Yeah, that was it today. I know it was a little dry because we were not able to really interact, but I hope you still learned something about SQL and Dune. And yeah, if you want to contact me in any way, these are my contact details. And I am giving another education on the 14th of October, so next week, sljedeće nedelje, da, imamo event gdje ćemo isto za početnike, gdje ćemo where we will take apart, we will like go deep into the Bitcoin white paper. Diskutovat ćemo Bitcoin white paper. Da, za te koji još nisu u blockchainu ili možda jesu u blockchainu, ali nikada nisu pročitali white paper, nego samo traduju, baš ćemo malo dublje zaći u cijelu ideju i filozofiju iza blockchaina i Bitcoina. Da, hoćete se pridružiti 14. oktobra, možete skenujete kod i to je to.
Hvala.
Hvala.